Detroiters working for environmental justice. Please join me in welcoming Guy to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not going to use PowerPoint, so I'm going to try to see how we can use my notes without screwing up the PowerPoint for the rest. I just want to say hi and welcome to Detroit, to Director McCall and Chairman Quackenbush. And I have to start out on a down-to-earth note because of where we are. I understand that many of us are happy that these forums are going on around the state. And on the other hand, it'd be really great if not only you were here, but if the governor himself were here, because there's a lot going on here. My organization, Detroiters Working for Environmental Justice, is a nonprofit organization. We're dedicated to improving environmental and economic health of our community. We envision Detroit's resurgence as a vibrant urban center where all thrive in social, economic, and environmental health. To accomplish this, each day, DWJ strives to build the meaningful connections between jobs and a healthy environment, between community development and environmental justice, and between community-driven policy and economic development that will transform our communities. I also want to point out that we work often in coalitions, and so even though my organization was chosen to represent and carry the banner for environmentalists, there are many of our colleagues in the audience here from many organizations and coalitions, and we want you to know that in Detroit, people care about the impact of energy on our lifestyle. There's major sources of pollution not only in Detroit, but statewide that impact our communities negatively, and I'll be speaking more about that. I'm wearing a t-shirt from one of our coalitions. It wasn't exactly on a dare, but they thought, he's going to be wearing a tie. Will he wear our Zero Waste Detroit t-shirt? I'm like, damn right. And I'll just digress for a second of why that's so important. We have the world's largest municipal waste trash burner right down the street here. Somehow somebody thought it was a great idea to deem it a source of renewable energy, also known as clean energy. There are a lot of us who think that was a very bad mistake. We're working hard to correct it. So that's actually one of our things we want you to be aware of. You asked for background information. You should be aware that there are very strong, vibrant alternatives to burning all of our trash that would be much better for our economy and our environment. We'd be happy to give you those references on your website. In 2012, Proposition 3 garnered a lot of grassroots support from across the state, and the idea was to reduce our reliance on coal by pushing for more aggressive renewable energy targets, 25% by the year 2025. Everybody knows that that proposal was not passed, but what many may not know is that in Detroit, that proposal did pass. 62% of voters were in favor of Proposition 3 in Detroit. This is a very strong statement in terms of our understanding of the impact of our energy policies as they are today. We need a change. Detroiters understand the importance of having a strong, clean energy standard because we experience the dangers of dirty energy production every day. Our colleagues at Michigan NAACP put out a really great report. I'm going to give you a copy. In this report, they are laying out a lot of research that shows the cross-pollination between the environmental impacts of the energy standards, which I'll come to in a few minutes. And I have one other piece of background for you, and that is a very powerful document called the Principles of Environmental Justice. Just to give you a little background, those principles were established in October of 1991 at an international convention of activists. And many of us and organizations across the country and across the world have been working to apply those principles. There are 17 of them and a very strong preamble. And just a slight excerpt from it to give you some context. In the preamble, there's a statement about how environmental justice is there to promote economic alternatives that contribute to the development of economically and environmentally safe livelihoods. And I bring that up because I think there can be still a growing misconception that those of us who work for environmental justice are somehow in opposition to economic growth. Nothing could be further from the truth. We all want to make a good living. We want to make a clean living, and we believe in innovation and creative approaches. And so we applaud this forum and your statewide conversation, and we really hope that this doesn't just become another library entry later on, that this becomes an action platform that the governor really gets behind. I want to share with you just 3 of the principles. Environmental justice demands public policy be based on mutual respect and justice for all peoples, free from any form of discrimination or bias. Environmental justice demands the right to participate as equal partners at every level of decision-making, including needs assessment, planning, implementation, enforcement, and evaluation. Environmental justice affirms the need for urban and rural ecological policies to clean up and rebuild our cities and rural areas in balance with nature, honoring the cultural integrity of all our communities, and providing fair access for all to the full range of resources for all. Detroit is working for environmental justice, supports a clean energy policy, and we really support the process of revamping the policies that we have on the books. Although we may not agree with all of the speakers that you hear today, what I think we all can agree on is that the way we're doing energy policy now is not working for us. We've already seen a lot of data that speaks very clearly about that. But some of the things from an environmental perspective I want to point out. First of all, we want to reduce our reliance on coal. I think everyone here probably already knows that the emissions from coal, there's no such thing as clean coal. Let's get that right off the top. No such thing as clean coal. You can start at the top of the mountains that they want to blast off to dig down to get the coal. There's nothing clean about that. There's nothing clean about bringing it here from out of state to burn it. There's nothing clean about working in the mines to extract it. There's nothing clean about people like myself who have asthma needing to carry these around. It just doesn't cut it. We need to come up with something new, something better. Changing our regulations will help significantly reduce our carbon footprint. We all know that that's a leading cause of global warming, or if you don't like that term, global climate change. How about that one? Anybody walk from your car to get in here today? Is this spring? I'll just let that speak. A new energy policy will also increase employment opportunities, particularly among working class and low-income people. We need jobs that are accessible to the whole range of our population here in Michigan. And the prospects of the types of jobs that go along with revamping and generating a clean energy policy match the profile of the education and the experience and the training that's available to people. That's very important. People should know that even in the nascent state that it is, the clean energy industry is a $5 billion industry in Michigan today. Imagine what it could be if we really turned it loose. I mean, think about it. Small businesses to large, everybody has a stake in this. I'm not going to go over everything I have here, but I want to point out that in Detroit, our unemployment rate tends to be twice or triple the state average at any given moment. This is another reason why I'm bringing this up about jobs. My organization has been working to train people in green jobs and those career paths for the last 5 to 6 years. We're having a great success rate in bringing people to the market, and they're finding jobs. We want to see that and those opportunities expanded and continuing to grow. Let me switch over to the health in the interest of time. Did you know that more than 200,000 people live within 3 miles of a coal-fired power plant? Did you know that of those people, 31% are people of color? Did you know that people of color make up only about 18% of those with asthma? Yet at the same time, 75% of hospital visits related to asthma. You might say, well, why is that? I have a couple ideas. I think one of them is that many of those people are subjected to the pollution over and over and over. They can't get away from it. They have to keep going back. What do we want? Well, we would like you to play as strong a role as you can in crafting creative, new, clean energy legislation that protects health while stimulating economic growth and providing economic opportunities for all Michigan residents. This is a quality of life issue. What else do we want? We would like you to adopt the Michigan Climate Change Action Plan that's been out there for several years. Go back, take a look at those recommendations, and let's get busy. Right now, we're working in Detroit on our own climate action plan. It'd be great if we could join forces and make those 2 plans go well. And just to repeat, I've got this button, Imagine Clean Air. Our incinerator has got to go. I realize that it may not be part of your purview per se, but you need to understand that encouraging burning everything in sight is not a good, sound energy policy. We need a policy that encourages the reuse of the materials in our waste stream, repurposing our waste stream to food stock for manufacturing. And again, these are jobs that match the populace that's looking for jobs. Very important. Sorry, I just saw that my time was up. I will conclude in just a moment here. I guess I threw out one final thought, and that is, many of us have been working with the Department of Environmental Quality on how we can come up with innovative regulations. Because the bottom line that we've already heard today is that the rules that govern how we operate make all the difference in the outcomes we get. We need change. We're working with that agency, but I want you to be aware and work diligently to dovetail your efforts with agencies such as the Department of Environmental Quality, because any major change in the energy policy is going to have a major change in the environmental impact, one way or the other. So to have very front-end and well-informed conversations between relative agencies would be very helpful. Thank you very much.